Sources tell ESPN that he will play out the final year of his deal and become an unrestricted free agent.
Baker's not happy with what the Buccaneers offered, like Vita Vea, but Baker right now is going to bet on himself. And usually when Baker's betting on himself, he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and that's usually when he plays some of his best football.
These are two big names to pay attention to just because I think that they're a contender in the NFC if they stay healthy.
Kevin Cohen with you, Smalls off. As you heard there about the Tampa Bay Bucks, their quarterback, Heisman Trophy winning #1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, who is now yet again trying to lead a playoff team in Tampa. In 2024, they were 10-7, made the playoffs. 2023, 9-8, made the playoffs. Last year, they were 8-9. Those are his 3 seasons as a starting quarterback with the Bucks. And yesterday, Baker Mayfield met with the media and gave this statement about his team this year.
I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that.
Anything else?
You're going to surprise people when you say you're going to shock people?
Yeah, I mean, listen, embellish it. There's no embellishing. I think you can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's. Yeah. Hell yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
Okay, you make that kind of bold statement, we're going to shock some people. The first thing you do is think about, okay, well, what are you going to do to help with that? Like, oh, you're going to shock. Let's give him a ton of credit. He looks so good in terms, like, Baker Mayfield has never been chiseled. Like, he has never, the TB12 diet, all these kind of things that people talk about. Like, Baker Mayfield has looked like an everyday guy. Let's be honest. For as much as an athlete can look like an everyday guy, we just showed video on TV. Go back and look on the internet later. He clearly lost a lot of weight. He clearly is in the best physical condition I've seen him in as an NFL player. So kudos to him because he's putting his money where his mouth is in terms of like, I'm going to prepare myself to have this season to shock some people. But let's define this for a second. If he's right, and the Bucs shock people, what does that mean?
Oh, that's Tampa making it to the playoffs and them going on a deep playoff run. That's the shock. Now, we've had people at this network project the Bucs to be a team that is a dark horse title contender out of the NFC. I remember going back to last year, Adam Schefter said the Tampa Bay Bucs are a team to watch. Now, injuries derailed a lot of that. This year, they're coming in with the controversy of the negotiations that have broke down with their star quarterback and the best player that they have on the defensive side of the ball in Vita Vea. So it's interesting to see how the Bucs move past all of those issues and focus on the winning aspect of this thing. Now, what I will say is this. They got a schedule that allows them to get out to a hot start, 3 non-playoff teams from a year ago, right? They start out on the road against Cincinnati, then Cleveland, and then home against Minnesota. So you have an opportunity to get off to a good start. You're probably going to get the Green Bay Packers in Week 4 without Michael Parsons. So, and that game is in Tampa. So we'll see what the Bucs end up becoming. But when I think about Baker Mayfield, when I think about what he's angling for in terms of a contract, when I think about the standard, the bar to clear for him, it's hard for me to get past how this guy came into the NFL. He was the #1 overall pick in a quarterback draft class that has 2 future Hall of Famers and a guy that just won the Super Bowl. So if we're looking at Baker Mayfield and we're saying, hey, you believe yourself to be a franchise quarterback, go out and play at the level that your draft status suggests that you are.
Very interesting point. Let's talk about that. I know you're of the belief that you think that people love these comments from him because generally you believe people kind of love and root for Baker, right?
Here's the fascinating thing about Baker Mayfield, and I can't quite wrap my mind around it. He has this underdog bravado, but he was the #1 overall pick.
That's what I was going to ask.
He says things and he does things that are polarizing and that are counter to what we believe a franchise quarterback to be. And yet everybody loves him and everybody embraces him.
He's not an underdog.
You would think that somebody that has the chip on their shoulder, somebody that is as edgy as he is, somebody that's as brash as he is, would turn more people off, but he doesn't. I don't hear a lot of people that are negative toward Baker Mayfield. I just don't. And so it's absolutely fascinating the aura that's around Baker Mayfield, the perception of who he is as a player, the narrative around his personality. It really is interesting. I don't know that I've seen anything like it in the National Football League over the last 2 decades.
Is he an underdog?
Well, I mean, when you look at the career arc, yes. But when you look at the draft status, you have to say no.
He was a walk-on to Heisman. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I have a hard time saying he's an underdog.
Yeah, but he's on his 4th team in 9 seasons?
Is Sam Darnold an underdog?
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought that Sam Darnold was going to resurrect his career after things went left with the Jets.
So is it the kind of thing where once you become an underdog in your sports career, regardless of sport, regardless of circumstance, once you become an underdog, you never lose it? Like, is Tom Brady an underdog?
Yes.
7 titles, 199th pick overall, 2 teams, one with 6, one with 1 in terms of
He was the 6th quarterback taken in his class, and he can tell you all the quarterbacks that went in front of him.
I probably could too.
No, but I'm just saying, even being as accomplished as he is in everything that he has going on in his life.
Is Aaron Rodgers an underdog? Junior college, Butte Junior College, 24th pick, I want to say.
Green room guy, yeah.
Green room, like, was he the original? He and Brady Quinn, to me, are the original green room guys in my head.
Aaron Rodgers, the original green room guy.
The original green room guy?
Yeah.
Warren Sapp was too. That was just wrong. That felt like wrong.
I don't know that the draft was the spectacle that it was with Warren Sapp coming out in comparison to Aaron Rodgers.
Fair. And quarterback versus lineman, et cetera.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers, underdog.
Yeah.
So really what you're saying is if you've ever been an underdog in sports, you're always Draymond Green, underdog?
Yes.
2nd round pick?
Yes.
4 titles later?
Yes. If Tom Brady, 7 championships later, is still an underdog, then it doesn't matter how accomplished you are in your career, you can still play that card.
Scottie Pippen, 6th pick in the draft, Central Arkansas, traded for Olden Polynice on draft night from the Bulls and the Sonics. Underdog?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating Vegas East. Do you believe once you're an underdog, you're always an underdog and you can never lose that?
No, I think you can absolutely lose it.
Who's lost it?
Tom Brady.
CC said otherwise just now.
I disagree. I just think over that long of a stretch, you do lose. Everyone still knows he was the 199th pick, but the first thing you think of when you think of Tom Brady is not, wow, he's an underdog. He was picked 199. You think, wow, he's the greatest player of all time. I don't think of him as an underdog
He was
anymore.
the greatest player of all time, and in his last championship season, nobody expected that, at least based on how the season started.
Yeah, I just don't think that was because he's like doubted and an underdog. That's just because he was at his
doubt
age.
Tom Brady going to Tampa?
Wait, Tom Brady is literally I don't know if he's an underdog, but his whole thing is that he's been doubted.
Come on, bro.
Right, the whole chip on the shoulder
We're not
thing.
keeping it a buck
It's
now.
a fascinating question. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776, your telephone number to join the show. Once you're an underdog, are you always an underdog? Because Baker says this, we're going to shock some people. And a lot of people would be turned off by a quarterback or anyone saying, hey, we're going to shock some people. And Sissy's saying, it kind of just, there feels like this relatability to him because we still kind of look at him as an underdog, but he was the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
I don't know how relatable he is. I didn't say that.
Well, but the underdog story is always the relatable story.
Yeah, I mean, I hear where you're going with that. I don't know that it's relatable. I would just say that Baker Mayfield, based on what he says and how he acts, should be polarizing. He should be off-putting, but he's not. And I don't know how he's pulling this off.
Because of what you said. People revert to the underdog story of the walk-on became the Heisman Trophy winner, became the number 1 pick in the draft.
I also think a part of the math is what's happened to Cleveland's quarterback room post Baker Mayfield. How he was jettisoned from Cleveland in favor of Deshaun Watson and how that has ended up being an abject failure. I think that people look at Baker Mayfield's impact and they recognize how significant it was in terms of what he did while he was there in Cleveland.
888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Once you're an underdog, are you always an underdog? And is there an example of someone that has shed the underdog label and become like, well, you can't look at that guy as an underdog? I don't know that there is. If you're saying Brady is still considered an underdog, then I don't know how anyone could shed that. Somebody will come up with one that will say, oh, you know what? That's a good example. That person shed the underdog label.
Okay, Tom Brady was doubted when he left New England for Tampa.
Well, go back. He was not even the full-time starter at Michigan.
Well, of course, with Drew Henson, right?
Yeah.
But then now we're doubting him in an ownership role with the Las Vegas Raiders. I still think there's an element of underdog to Tom Brady, even though he is the most accomplished football player, one of the most accomplished athletes ever.
We'll get your phone calls in. This is a fascinating discussion coming up. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.